Hi everyone, it's Paddy here from arithmetichub.com, thanking you for choosing this video, but reminding you that whilst this is one method to solve questions like this, it's not the only method. With that being said, let's explore this concept a little bit further.
Hi there everyone, so today we're going to have a look at fractions of amounts problems. We're going to have a look at a bit of problem solving with these fractions of amounts today. So let's have a look at what the question looks like. A book has 240 pages. I read 3/8 on Monday and 4/10 on Tuesday. How many pages are left? So, the method for this question, let's have a look. The first part says, you need to know your fraction of an amount method, and that's been really simplified here to whole divided by the denominator, and your answer times by the numerator. So, we've got our whole, we've got our fractions over here with our numerator and our denominator, and again, a fraction over here with the numerator and the denominator. So we know we're going to be able to use that fraction of an amount method over here. The second part of the method says, use this method to find the value for Monday. Then the third part says, use the method to find the value for Tuesday. The fourth part says, the pages read on Monday, add the pages read on Tuesday equals, and the fifth part says the total pages minus the answer to part 4 is going to give you your answer. So, we know sometimes when I read out this method, it sounds like complete rubbish. Hopefully, by the time you've actually had a look at it and seen it and said, oh, actually, you know what? If we go step by step, it does make sense. So hopefully, it's going to be one of those again, where once we go step by step, it actually makes a lot more sense than me just reading that and you go, not sure about that. Okay, so let's start with the first bit. We know our fractions of amount method. We know we've got our whole, and we've got our denominator, we've got our numerator in our fraction. So we know that method. So we know we're going to be able to use it to find Monday and Tuesday. Now, when I'm doing this, the first thing I would do is a little bit of annotation. I'm not going to write the full Monday, I'm just going to write M equals, and then I'm going to write T equals underneath. So now I'm going to be able to find Monday and Tuesday. So I'm going to use the method to find Monday. So how many pages did I read on Monday? Well, it says I read 3/8 of the book on Monday. That's 240 pages. So I'm going to need to find 3/8 of 240. So I'm going to use my method there. So I know my method is going to be the whole divided by the denominator. My whole is 240, and I'm going to divide it by 8. 240 divided by 8. Now, I could do that in a short division method, but I could also use my number families. I know 24 divided by 8 is going to be 3. Here I've got one more 0 in the question, so I'm going to need one more 0 in the answer. So 24 divided by 8 will be 3, 240 divided by 8 is going to be 30. Okay, so 24 divided by 8 is going to give me, 240 divided by 8 is going to give me 30. So I've done the first part of my method, and then my answer multiplied by the numerator. Now my numerator here was 3. So what I need to do is my answer of 30 times by 3. 30 times 3 is going to give me 90. 3 times 3 is 9. 30 times 3 is going to give me 90. Use my number families. So on Monday I read a total of 90 pages. Now let's have a look at Tuesday. Okay, so again it says I can use the same method to find how many pages I read on Tuesday. So let's go back. We've got our whole again, haven't we? 240 pages. Now, the amount of pages in the book do change. When you read the book, you don't rip all of the pages out of the book, or I certainly hope that you don't, okay? You're not going to end up with many books left if you do. So, what we would do is we would just go back to this 240 pages. So on Tuesday, we've got 240 pages again, but this time you're reading 4/10. So, I'm going to use my fractions of an amount method to be able to work this out. I know that I need to do my whole divided by my denominator. 240 is my whole, I'm going to divide it by 10. 240 divided by 10, again I could set it up if I need to, but I know 240 divided by 10 is going to give me 24, okay? Then I've got my answer of 24, and I know I need to multiply my answer by my numerator. 24 times 4. Now there's two ways I could do this. I could double it and double it again, or I could set it up in a short column multiplication. I actually think this is quicker. It's probably quicker than thinking about it and risking getting it wrong, because I know I can just do 4 times 4 is going to give me 16, 4 times 2 is going to give me 8, and the 1 is going to give me 9 for 96. So now I know how many pages I've read on Monday. I've read 90. Now I know how many pages I've read on Tuesday. I've read 96. So I've done part 1, 2 and 3 of my method. Part 4 now says the pages read on Monday add the pages read on Tuesday equals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them up. 90 add 96. 0 add 6 is going to give me 6. 9 add 9 is going to give me 18. So I know in total I've read 186 pages so far on Monday and Tuesday. My combined total on Monday and Tuesday today is 186. The final part of my method says the total pages minus the answer to part 4 is going to give me my answer. So for my final answer to work out how many pages are left, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, right, 240 was my total pages I had in the book. On Monday and Tuesday, I'd read 186 pages. So all I'm going to do to work out how many pages I've got left is I'm going to subtract the amount of pages that I've already read from the amount of pages that there were in total in the book. 0 take away 6, I'm not going to be able to do, so I'm going to need to exchange. 10 take away 6 is going to be 4. 3 take away 8, I'm not going to be able to do, so 13, when I exchange, 13 take away 8 is going to give me 5. And then 1 take away 1 is going to give me 0. So now I can say that actually the amount of pages I've got left is 54 pages. That's my final answer. So the total pages minus my answer to part 4 is going to give me my final answer for how many pages I had left. My total pages was 240. My answer to part 4 was 186. That subtraction of 240 minus 186 gave me 54. So I had 54 pages left in total. Now let's have a look at one where it's slightly harder. Okay, so now let's have a look at this one. Slightly more challenging numbers, but again, it's exactly the same method. So all there is a case of us practicing this method again and getting really familiar with it, which is really helpful when we're doing problem solving questions. So the first part of our method says we need a fraction of amount method. We know how to do that. The second and third part say we need to use the fraction of amount method to be able to find Monday and Tuesday. So let's start with that. Again, I'm going to write Monday here like this and Tuesday like that. Don't need to write all of Monday, don't need to write all of Tuesday. M equals T equals going to be absolutely fine. So a book has 808 pages. I read 2/3 on Monday and 1/4 on Tuesday. So I know my fraction of amount method. I have my whole, and I'm going to divide it by the denominator and then multiply my answer by the numerator. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do 888 divided by 3. Now, that might not be something I can do with my number families this time. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up in a short division method. 3 goes into 8 twice with a remainder of 2. 3 goes into 28 9 times with a remainder of 1. 3 goes into 18 6 times. So I know that 1/3 of 888 is going to be 296. I've found, and so in the first part of my fraction of amount method, but it said I needed 2/3. So now what I need to do is I need to do 296 times 2. Because I got my answer, I'm going to multiply it by the numerator. 296 times 2. 6 times 2 is going to give me 12. 2 times 9 is 18, add the 1 is going to give me 19. 2 times 2 is 4, add the 1 is going to give me 5. So on Monday, I read 592 pages. I'm just going to leave that there like that. Tuesday then, exactly the same method. I read 1/4 on Tuesday, but I can see this is a unit fraction. So I know I'm not going to have to multiply the answer by 1. That's not going to make sense, is it? Because if I multiply it by 1, it's just going to give me the same thing. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to divide 888 by 4, which is nice and simple. 4 goes into 8 twice, 4 goes into 8 twice, and then 4 goes into 8 twice again. So I know that 1/4 of 888 was 222. So I've done my first 3 parts of the method. The fourth part says the pages read on Monday add to the pages read on Tuesday. Well, I've read 592 on Monday, 222 on Tuesday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them together. 2 add 2 gave me 4, 9 add 2 gives me 11, 5 add 2 is 7, add the 1 is going to give me 8. So on Monday and Tuesday combined, I've read a total of 814 pages. Part 5 of my method says the total pages minus my answer to part 4 is going to tell me my final answer. Because what we're looking for is how many pages are left. So on Monday and Tuesday, I've read 814 pages. My book had a total of 888 pages, so to work out how many pages I have left, all I would do is 888 subtract 814. 8 take away 4 is going to give me 4, 8 take away 1 is going to give me 7, 8 take away 8 is going to give me 0, which means in total 74 pages remaining.
If you found this video useful, then I would massively appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you want to explore more methods or practice using the method we've looked at here, why not check out the teacher videos at arithmetichub.com. Arithmetic Hub has videos just like this on different methods, specifically targeting areas needed in Key Stage 2. There you can practice one particular skill or generate your own sets of calculations designed to challenge your understanding of all the topics covered in Years 3 to 6.